All right, guys, here we go. Summer vacation is almost over. Ready to get back to work, ready to get back to school. Bob Ryan, Jeff Goodman, Gary Tanguay here with the Ryan Goodman Tanguay Along for the Ride podcast.
Where are you, Gary? Gary, where are you? You look like you're in like an attic, a tight attic.
I am in my daughter's art room.
You can see that.
Yeah,
there's no way you could paint that over there on your right shoulder.
My daughter's a terrific artist, as you can tell.
And you are not
that good, but right now it's good enough. We have some other activities going on in the Tanguay household, and this is the best we could do, which is fine. Sometimes the darker with me, the better. The less you see of me, the better. Okay, so anyways, the Ryan Goodman podcast driven by Athletic Greens. So let's kick things off, guys. KD is staying, and I'm going to throw this out to both of you. I don't believe it. I don't think it's going to work. I think that they have stemmed the tide for now, saying that everything's fine with Brooklyn. But, Bob, I still think he'll want out.
They're going to have to lower their demand if that's the case. Right. They made a clear demand about what they want, an all-star back, a prospects plural, whatever, and no one answered their call. And when's this going to happen? No, who's going to budge? And isn't there? I'm asking. I don't know, Jeff. Maybe you have a better sense. Aren't people tired of the act?
Some people are tired. You can be tired, Bob, but at the end of the day, you still look at him and you say a healthy Kevin Durant is still capable of taking us up, not one notch, but two notches. Right. And again, healthy in body and mind. And that's two things that are both questionable right now.
Right. So, right. Okay. All right. But you have to balance that off. Is that enough? Do people, someone's going to have to make a bold decision.
Is it going to be your guy, Danny Ainge?
Well, then what's he got to? You tell me what you got to give other than Mitchell. I don't know.
Donovan Mitchell, and I mean some of the draft picks he got for Rudy Gobert.
Okay, well, all right, maybe. All right. And does Kevin Durant? What's that do for him?
Nothing.
They're not going to win the NBA championship with him. I'm sorry. No, with that roster.
Bob, to interject, what happened when you were away? Jeff, last week we revisited Jeff Goodman speaking about the injured hand of Jason Tatum. Right, during the playoffs. Jeff, I mean, it came out that, and I think basically Tatum confirmed that he hurt his hand during the playoffs, and that limited him in the finals. So Jeff and I talked about that, and Jeff had pretty much said that back in June.
Yeah.
So how does that change things now when you look at Durant to Boston? Because you're right, they're going to have to change that. Something's got to give. So now I know how you feel, Bob, but just to look at the situation. You know, if you're Brad to get Kevin Durant, do you still want to all of a sudden maybe offer Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown? Or because Tatum was hurt in the finals, do you completely abandon the Durant concept altogether and say, if Tatum was healthy, he and Brown could have won it?
You know where I stand.
I know, but I mean, I'm trying to ask you to think out of your body here for a minute.
Yeah, but no, I don't want the guy. I don't want him. He is not reliable. He is not the guy. He's not thinking right. He's just, I don't want him. We don't need him. We don't need him.
Well, see, that's the thing, Bob, to Jeff, what Bob is saying now, and Jeff and I were on the fence, but when Jeff's report was reiterated about Tatum being hurt, now I'm thinking, well, if Tatum's healthy and Brown's healthy, maybe you do beat Golden State.
Maybe. Or again, maybe you don't beat Milwaukee still.
Okay.
Right.
So again, listen, the bottom line is with this team as presently constituted, they are one of a handful of teams that can win the whole thing. With Kevin Durant, if you don't have to give up Marcus Smart too, to me, you are the heavy favorite to win the title. If Kevin Durant is healthy at that point. Right. Like, even if he's not healthy up here, Bob, completely, and he's screwed up because of the whole Golden State thing and then joining Kyrie, whatever, Kevin Durant on the court, still with Jason Tatum, with Brogdon, with Marcus Smart, with Robert Williams, man, that team could be ridiculous.
Okay. So here's what it comes down to, where I am just speaking for me and me alone, not for any other Celtic fan, quote unquote. I don't need it. I'm happy. I don't want to win with him. I do not want him. I don't.
You don't want to root for him. You don't want to root for Kevin Durant.
You don't want Bob is such a great
writer. I want to root for this group right here that we have a team assembled that, and grow. And now that we've added Brogdon, we're going to get to Galinari. But now that we've added Brogdon, I love this team. Yeah. I don't want to win with that shithead. All right? And I think he is one, frankly. Yeah. So
put that in the Boston Globe, Bob Ryan. I don't want to win with that shithead. Put that in the Globe.
Yeah, I don't want to win with him. I don't know.
Hey, I'm going to push back on that.
Let me back up. Most people, they don't go that far. Winning's winning, no matter who you're winning with. I guess I'm sorry. I've been through too many championships, and lucky me. And I don't want to win with this guy. Yeah. Screw him. No, let's stick with the group we got. They're good enough to win in theory. They've added Brogdon, and presumably once he gets over his injury, Galinari, we'll talk about that. And they've bolstered the team that fell 2 games short of winning. And I don't want to win with this guy. Screw him.
I know, but maybe if he gets away from Kyrie, maybe he can return to some sense of normalcy.
No, he's gone. He's grown up. He's had the right to do what he's done. Grow up before our eyes in a way that he chooses. And that's not I don't like the way he's chosen. Yeah. Sorry.
He's changed. He has grown up. He's not the kid anymore
And he'll never get over the resentment that he caused jumping to Golden State. He'll never get over it. He's a psychological mess. I'm sorry. Screw him.
Yeah, I think if he did come to Boston with Ime, I do think if he's physically healthy, I think mentally he could be okay. We saw it with Kevin Garnett. There were guys that didn't want to come here, and after they came here, I mean, KG said it was phenomenal.
Now, granted, point is, 3 of us can agree to disagree. I'm speaking for me and me alone.
I'm just saying.
I've always
saying the difference in talent from Kevin Durant to Jaylen Brown is enormous. It's enormous. Period. Jaylen Brown is a fringe all-star. Kevin Durant is arguably one of the best 10 players ever to play this game.
Yeah.
Yes. When he's you're right. And when his mind's in
yes, we're forgetting that. I think we're forgetting that because
I don't need it.
We saw in the playoffs where Kevin Durant wilted. He did. He wilted in the playoffs. No doubt about it. And Jason Tatum wasn't himself to me in the playoffs, whether it was the injury or not. But Kevin, the last memory we have, the last vision we have of Kevin Durant was he looked nothing like a top 10 player of all time. He didn't look like a top 50 player of this year.
Yeah.
Well, all right, but we know that's an aberration. He'll be better than that.
Well, you guys are on different ends, which is great, phenomenal.
Totally. And I'm back on the do the trade. I am. I'm back on the I would do the trade, and I've gone back and forth over and over and over. But ultimately, I still say, at the highest level, that team put together is the prohibitive favorite. Not even close. The prohibitive favorite.
Wait a minute, hold it. Is it just with Brown gone, but not with Smart?
Correct. If Brad Stevens held out, threw in another first-round pick and whatever else, right? I don't think Sean Marks is going to do that trade. But as we get closer and closer to training camp, if this is a little bit of a ploy, and maybe then at some point Kevin Durant says, you know what, we tried this, I'm not reporting, I'm not coming. Then if it is Derek White, Jaylen Brown, I'd give up 3 first-round picks at that point. It doesn't matter to me. They're all late first-round picks anyway, in theory.
Well, we shall continue to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I love the possibility of what we have with the group that we have, adding Brogdon and then eventually adding Galinari once he's cured from his injury, which doesn't appear to be that long-term. And let's see what happens. So,
all right, to wrap this up, we'll get to Galinari in a minute, but Bob, I'll start with you, and then I want Jeff to answer. I have a bad feeling about Durant working out in Brooklyn. because actually someone said to me today who watches our podcast and said, oh, hey, it looks like the Durant thing's done. It's at the gas station. I said, no. I don't believe this. I don't think it's done. I think it's okay for now. But, Bob, I don't see Durant finding peace in Brooklyn. Your thought? I'm asking you to speculate.
Doesn't sound real good, but just come back to where his state of mind is or always will be.
Yeah.
And what it's been ever since he left Oklahoma City to go to Golden State, win a couple of championships while being criticized as being a jumping on, piling on guy.
Right.
And then, he's changed. He's not, and not for the better.
Forget about KD in Brooklyn. How about the fact that you have Kyrie and his issues, right? Whether it's physical and emotional,
right?
And you have Ben Simmons and his physical and emotional issues. That's 6 sets of issues that you're dealing with. Okay.
Yeah,
Plus, poor Steve Nash, who's got to deal with now Kevin Durant walking through that door, and Steve Nash. Listen, he's the nicest guy on the planet. But ultimately, how do you think he feels underneath it all when he knows that Kevin Durant tried to get him cut out from being the coach?
Granted,
right?
To me, let that be the Brooklyn Nets problem. Let them fester. Let them deal with the unfathomable Kyrie, the
right.
Even how to describe Simmons.
Yeah.
The mysterious Simmons. We don't know what Simmons we're ever going to see again. And I'm not a fan of his, and I don't know why anyone would want him.
You're not a fan of any of the three, and you're putting all three of them together.
Why would anyone want a guy that once you get to the playoffs is a diminished player by definition?
Yeah.
By definition.
Well, I'll tell you.
Because he has stubbornly refused to improve himself. Right. That is an unimaginable thing to me, that this guy has not locked himself in the gym for 3 months a year after his rookie year to develop a reliable outside shot. And then he still is a liability in the playoffs.
Or make a layup.
I don't want him.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see, because I don't think this tale in Brooklyn is over by any stretch.
Oh,
I don't think it's over.
Let them. I mean, Jeff, let them have the problem. We have a nice situation.
If it goes poorly, see, here's the other issue. If it goes poorly, Kevin Durant's trade value doesn't go up.
It goes down.
It may not stay the same. It may go down a little bit. So you run that risk too of throwing those.
It's down already, don't you think?
It is down.
If it hasn't happened right now, it's clear that no team wants to give them what they want. Whatever
they're asking for a lot.
If and when it ever happens, it'll be at X% on the dollar less than they ever dreamed.
Right, and maybe that's why Brad is being smart. And who knows? Maybe Marks and the Brooklyn Nets are saying, you know what? We're going to say there's peace for now. We're going to try to use that as leverage and try to keep the market price open, but nobody's going to buy into that. It's got to implode in Brooklyn. The only thing I feel bad about is poor Jaylen Brown. If he gets sent to the Nets, he's going to be going, what did I ever do to deserve this? So stay tuned on this. I want to get to Galinari in a minute. So we'll have to wait and see. I think we can all agree that the Durant-Brooklyn thing is not over. It's not over.
Here's the interesting thing. It's been the dominant story of the offseason to the extent that has held up the NBA's television contract. You realize that?
Yes.
That they want to know where the Nets are going to be, if he's going to be with them.
Anyway, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, whether or not they have Kevin Durant, they're going to have somebody else there. They're going to be relevant enough that you throw them on TV.
Not the extent. No, this is clear that they've made it. They definitively stated they're waiting to see what team he's going to be on.
How about this guy?
I'm going to put the Nets on X times, without him. Period.
How about this for a theory? How about this for a theory? Let's make believe we get along so we can get the television thing settled.
I don't give a damn.
KD won't do that.
Problem.
KD might again to try to get the trade value back up so that they can deal him. He may now say, "Hey, I'll come back. I'll report, but you guys gotta make a move on me here quickly."
Yeah, I'm going with that.
Hey, that's now we move to KD, and I mean to
Yeah, well, it's too.
Oh well.
Anyways, we're going to talk about Galinari next. We're going to be talking about this weekly. There's no question.
We have to talk about, forget Galinari next. We got to go on to Chet Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren.
Okay, all right, cool.
No, you got to read it.
Okay, our partners at Athletic Greens. This is the hot new thing in Staying Healthy. Athletic Greens, it's lifestyle friendly. If you're into a number of different eating styles, vegan, dairy-free, keto, however you pronounce it.
Keto,
I believe. I'm not on it. Paleo contains less than 1 gram of sugar, supports better sleep and recovery. You're mentally clear, you're alert, costs you less than $3 a day, and it's cheaper than getting all different supplements yourself. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day, that's it. No need for a million different pills or supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you free a 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens/hoops. Again, that's athleticgreens/hoops to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. All right, well, you want to get to Galinari later? Fine. Holmgren here.
Yeah.
All right, so let me set it up. The Liz Frank injury with Holmgren, because he's guarding LeBron in this Pro-Am game. So why are they playing this game anyways?
Because now it's kind of the cool thing to do, right? Jamal Crawford has got this Pro-Am out in Seattle that, everybody's kind of playing in, right? And LeBron played. I can't remember who played right before, but Tatum played in that game also, right? In that day, or I think the same game. And he's gotten all these NBA players to come out, and now it becomes a thing where, again, you got to do it. The number 1 pick, Paulo Banchero, who's from Seattle, had played, and he played against DeJounte Murray. That was a big thing because DeJounte Murray talked plenty of trash to him in that game. And then it just becomes this thing like you got to play in it. You want to play in it. And Crawford does a great job. He does. And this was a freak accident. It was a freak injury, no doubt about it. But as I tweeted, it can be a freak injury. But if you had said, hey, who is the one guy most likely to get hurt out of this class? Who is the one guy you are worried about? Their injury, their health status, their body, all of that, it would have been Chet Holmgren, and it wouldn't have been close. And again, this isn't an injury, that you look at and you say, oh, because he's 190 pounds, that's why he got hurt. It's just one of what could be a pattern with Chet Holmgren, and that scares the hell out of me, and it scared the hell out of a lot of NBA GMs that I talked to that never even had a chance to take a shot at Chet Holmgren. But what I talked to throughout the season that were going to be in the lottery that all said to me, listen, I'm scared as hell to take him. I'm scared as hell not to take him because his upside is so high.
And it's done for the year. He's done for the year. I don't know if I made that clear.
Yeah, he's out for the year. As you both know, and you went up to the draft, I identified myself as someone who was he was the most intriguing person in the draft to me in years.
Not even close.
In years. Yep. I saw the skill set available during the year, but that body type is highly unusual, and not one that is built to last in the NBA. And we questioned that from day one. And I was most curious to see how it was going to play out. I realized that this freak accident has nothing to do with the fact that he's 7'1" and 190 whatever pounds. This is just, but Jeff is so right. How classically appropriate that it happens to him of all people. And
it's horrible. It's horrible. We can both agree on that. Like in my tweet, people took it the wrong way. Like I want to see this kid play.
I did too.
But again, if you had said who's the one guy most likely to sustain a season-ending injury as a rookie, it wouldn't have been close. It would have been Chet Holmgren.
Yep. And then of course Oklahoma City, that they're on a slow rebuild back, and this was another.
I didn't like the pick. Looking back on it, I didn't like the pick when it was made because I felt like Jabari Smith at least is a known quantity. Now, is his upside as high as Chet? No, but they took risk after risk. They took a kid from Santa Clara, Jalen Williams, with a lottery pick. Then they took the other Jalen Williams from Arkansas in the second round. They took a flyer on a late first round. Sam Presti's just, I think he's in it just to lose.
Well, it is incredibly, I wouldn't even say ironic, because I'm always been confused about the proper use of the word ironic, but interesting that it would, of all people, that it would be Chet Holmgren.
Right.
And whether or not it's anything to do with his body type, it did happen to him of a ball, and he's out for the year. And so there it goes. I'm just speaking purely as a fan. I was very invested in him and curious to see, and following the career. I'm hardly rooting against him. I'm rooting for him. But
could this help him? Bob, here's the thing. Could this actually be a blessing in disguise, because he is 190 pounds? And now, you know, he can do
the weight room.
He can do this. He can do anything with his upper body.
Right, anything. We'll see.
He can gain 15 pounds.
And wasn't he, I won't say arrogant, but very, what's the word you want to use?
Aloof?
Defensive about his body.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I like Chet. Listen, I think I told you guys this story. Maybe I didn't. But I really like Chet. I had him on during the pandemic. I had him and Paulo on a podcast together, and they were both great. And Chet, his personality is awesome. Then I went out to Gonzaga before the season started this past year, and a couple other national writers had already gone out there, and they said he was a little, I don't know if arrogant is the right word about it, but he had no desire to do any interviews, didn't care, just didn't really. People had obviously told him, you don't really need the media. So I had already talked to him before, so I had a little bit of a relationship with him. So I said, listen, Chet, I'm not interviewing you. I have no desire to interview you now. Let's just shoot the shit for a little while. And I tried to explain to him the value of the media. And one of the things I said to him was, Chet, you're going to need us. At some point, you are going to need us when you struggle in the NBA. You're not going to struggle much at Gonzaga probably, but at some point in the NBA, you're going to struggle. And you're going to want people to come to your aid and say, hey, you know what? That Chet Holmgren, like, I really like him as a kid. He's a good kid, and he is, but you got to let people know you.
No, interesting. Well, it's an interesting story. I mean, if you were going to write a fictional narrative about the NBA in the off season, this would be the lead story. That
Sure.
Of all people, oh my God, Chet Holmgren's the one who wound up with the injury of all people.
Okay, speaking of injuries now, Galinari, who was playing for Team Italy, 34-year-old addition to the Boston Celtics this year, but torn meniscus. How big of a deal is this, Bob?
Thanksgiving, maybe.
Yeah.
Christmas to the latest. It's not catastrophic. It's a setback. Because you'd love to have everybody in training camp and going through the whole thing and blah, 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 blah. But he's a veteran. He's been around, knows the story, knows there's a reason why he's with the Celtics to start with. I don't think it's a setback. Your disappointment, but he should recover, and he should be available to be of service. I'm assuming an optimistic view here.
Yeah, I feel the same way, Jeff, that you didn't want this guy to play a whole lot anyways, right?
He's not the most athletic dude anyway. So it's as long as he can stand out there and make shots, he can't really guard anyway. I don't think it's going to help hurt him that much in the defensive end. And you know what? Like, to me, they just got to be healthy for a good portion of the season, right? Second half of the year, if the Celtics can be healthy, get their rotation down. I almost feel like the first half of the year, it's not that big a deal, because let's face it, like, there'll be a little bit of a lie. Like Grant Williams, you're not going to get the same amount of minutes you got last year.
Yeah. And, a lot more. I mean, frankly, if it's going to happen to one of the two acquisitions, we must be cynically happy that it happened to him rather than Brogdon.
Yes.
Brogdon is a very important piece of the forthcoming puzzle. But no, I wish him well. But it's not. Thank God it was a meniscus. It wasn't a ligament, and we know that can be that can be rehabilitated. And so whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, I wouldn't think it's any later than Thanksgiving.
Just as long as he's ready for May. That's all. Just be ready for May.
Yeah, without Kevin Durant. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, without Kevin Durant. Bob Ryan. Hi, Bob Ryan. Damn glad to meet you. I hate Kevin Durant. Bob Ryan. Damn glad to meet you. I
don't hate him. I just don't want him.
I understand, Bob. So you talk about fiction. The Terrence Williams thing, I find fascinating. Now, again, to set this up, former NBA player Terrence Williams, he pleaded guilty as a ringleader in a scheme to defraud the NBA's health plan. Okay. Also committed ID theft, identity theft, and wire fraud. One of 18 players, a doctor and a dentist and a chiropractor. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, obviously he's a great guy. He organized this ring of criminals, of criminal activity. We had him at the end of his career. He played 4 years for 4 teams, by the way. The last of which was us in Boston. It's just what do we say? It's a fascinating story about a criminal mind, and the guy. I think
of stories like Nate the Kitchen Newton, who made all this money with the Cowboys and then gets caught with a trunk full of drugs. I mean, you make. I understand. I don't even know what his salary was, but I understand. He wasn't making LeBron money, but if you're in the NBA, you make some dough. But it's just the whole thing was.
Can I give you a story why this didn't surprise me?
Yeah,
go ahead.
I've never told this story, but I've heard it from at least 4 sources. Terrence Williams, when he was at Louisville, was playing pickup basketball, and he got pissed off at another player named Jerry Smith. And
my God.
He went to his car, and he came back in with a gun.
Yeah.
Yes, came back in with a gun.
Derek Smith, who was a
Jerry Smith, not Derek.
Oh, Jerry Smith.
Jerry Smith.
Okay, Jerry.
Nothing happened with him, thankfully. But yes, Terrence Williams, T-Will, was a Rick Pitino favorite, an absolute favorite of Rick Pitino's back when he played for Rick. But yeah, this does not surprise me that much.
Well, it's a fascinating story, but sobering. My God, I mean, my jaw dropped and he pleaded guilty. He did it. But
I mean, I don't understand the doctor and the dentist. That's the part I don't get. The chiropractor, I suppose, my dad, Noah Tanguay, God bless him, always referred to his chiropractor as bone crushers. But, the doctor and the dentist, I know what my dentist makes. My family dentist is not poor. All right? He's not poor. I mean, that's what the doctor and the dentist, really, that's where the players, I guess, but I was like, who are these guys?
Look, the lesson in life is that there's no clear delineation about what profession harbors people who want to game a system, if you will. There just isn't. I know from my own son's experience working with the government in a particular capacity, where there was a certain community that no one would believe would be susceptible to fraud that was, okay? And so I'm telling you, we shouldn't be that shocked. It's surprising, eyebrow raising, fascinating, but I'm telling you, it's not shocking. So,
Jeff, you got anything to close out on this?
I got nothing.
You came in with a bases loaded homer for us.
Yeah, you nailed it, dude.
I've been waiting to tell that story for a long time.
I love it.
Well, now we got to put that. We got to talk to Nick. That's going to be the headline.
No, I think we know what the headline is of this episode.
Oh yes, that's right. Bob Ryan. What was the quote again, Jeff? You had it. What?
I don't want to win with that shithead.
No, I don't.
Bob Ryan.
I'll stand on that. I'm not backing off.
Boom. Headline of the Boston Globe.
Hey, wait. How long is it going to take for Kevin Durant to tweet at Bob Ryan?
Oh, God.
I don't care.
Don Sklar, print that. Beverly, and you guys want Beverly to the Lakers? Any quick thoughts on that?
Oh, the idea of his reunion with Russell Westbrook is the thing. They have a thing. They have an history. Patrick Beverly is a type that we've seen occasionally, but maybe not so often to the degree. The ultimate pest, the classic example of a guy whose raison d'etre is to get under your skin. If you have him, you love him, or at least you appreciate him. If you don't have him, you hate him. He's not unskilled. He does what he does. Hockey is loaded with those guys. We may have one here at Marchand, although Marchand's a better player. But it's just he can help you in the short run. But we'll see how this works out. He's going to have to wrap pro.
We won't, because Westbrook probably won't be there by then.
Oh, okay.
Who knows? I mean, I guess he will, because they can't get rid of him. I mean, nobody will take Russell.
Yeah, why? Because of $47 million? I think that's
right, nobody will take it.
Huh? No, but Patrick Beverly is a professional pest, but he's not he's not useless.
Right.
You know, he aggravates people. He can play the hell out of defense.
Yep.
He's always going to move around. Now it's another
PJ Tucker-ish. He's PJ Tucker-ish.
All right,
but more annoying.
I'd rather have PJ Tucker. But
agreed. I'm with you 100%. I'm just because PJ Tucker is probably a better locker room guy.
Okay.
That's where PJ Tucker is.
Okay.
But yes, Beverly can guard, and that'll be an entertaining locker room. When
you know what? Once again, they're constructing a bizarre roster, aren't they?
Yes.
For you know who.
They got no choice. What else do they get?
Well,
yeah.
I tell you what, LA fans, you're not winning. I just want you to know that right now. That's all. Okay, thank you.
Not with 38-year-old LeBron and Anthony Davis, who you have no idea if he's going to be healthy.
No. So
no chance. No chance.
You know what? I never would have, if you were talking like 10, 15 years ago, I assumed LA would always be in legitimate contention. They would always attract free agents. There would always be, you know, and you know what? I'm actually happy, you know, that's not enough. The lure of LA is not enough. I'm glad, but this team isn't going anywhere, so that's okay.
Well, and also I did see, Bob, that they started filming season 2 of Winning Time. I'm sure you can't wait for that to complete production. And for us three shitheads, I'm Gary Tanguay. Thank you so much for watching.